now. There we go. And I am also going to start. There's an app that we're sort of trying that will allow us to do a transcript. And that you may hear that as I try and find it again. But in the meantime, I'm going to summarize our script for hybrid meetings. This is not required, but it just gives people insight on how the meeting will run. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mike Cozart,
Aye.
Meryl McCluskey,
Hi.
Nikki Drew.
Oh, aye. I was muted.
Thank you. Those are our three
I
commission
was like,
members
"You're here."
present today. The rest of the people on this call are either staff or participants in an application process through the licensing office. All votes will be done by roll call vote. Respond with an aye afterwards. And I think that's pretty much the high points of the meetings. Way overrun. See you in the morning.
Thank you, Maureen.
You're welcome.
So the meeting is officially opened. I would just ask for a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
I approve.
Okay, and I see
I
Meryl.
second.
Second, and you, in a roll call vote, Nikki,
Aye.
Meryl,
Aye.
and Mike Cozart, I say aye. So we have an agenda, and on that agenda, we have Marina from the licensing office first, and we have 3 requests. Marina, starting off with the barre classes from Ms. Benson. You want to speak to that?
Hi all. So we received 3 requests. The first would be from Rachel Benson. It's about bear classes on Sundays at Children's Beach. They will start from on June 16th through Sunday, September 15th. It would be 2 classes. First class at 8 a.m. until 8:45 and second class from 9 till 9:45. So as you know, we have yoga classes at Children's Beach Bandstand from Monday to Saturdays. That's why we only have Sundays available right now. So Rachel is here and she can talk more about the classes.
Yes, thank you so much. So I was interested in trying to do something outdoors downtown this summer. Last year, I worked with the bar bus at Nobody Beach. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It was another beach workout. Those had great success. And this summer, I was hoping to do something in town, particularly at Children's Beach with lots of foot traffic, hopefully coming in. Not a lot of cars, not needing to take a vehicle on the beach, that kind of thing. I teach at a couple local studios now. I have a lot of experience. I have my own liability insurance that would cover what you need for that. So it's, you know, a little more of an intense workout than yoga, but nothing too out of control. I actually have some visual aids if you'd want to see the equipment that I'll use. It's really just easy in and out. A band and a ball, nothing dangerous. So like I said, I've had success with these in the past, filling classes, and I think it could generate a good bit of money for all of us. And it's just a nice thing to offer people who are visiting for the summer, as well as providing something to the locals that I work with right now who are interested in this kind of outdoor workout.
Do any of the commissioners have questions of Rachel?
No questions.
No. Do we have any conflicts on Sundays, Marina? Otherwise, I don't believe that we do, but. Nope. Okay.
We haven't really received any requests for Sundays yet, so I think if you're gonna get any new requests for the events, I'm sure they can work it out.
Okay.
And if I would prefer to use the beach farthest from the bandstand and playground area anyway. So there would be a good bit of distance between anything going, kids playing in the morning, that sort of thing. Sort of where the benches and the little boardwalk area are at the end. It's a nice flat spot I've scouted out.
Charlie, any thoughts? You're muted. You're muted.
I think that should be fine. The only question that kind of came up was, I think there was a question about music.
Right.
And with the town noise bylaw, I'm assuming we're not gonna be blasting, Guns N' Roses,
Yeah, no,
first thing in the morning. So I kind of talked to Marina about this, and I'll come down, first class and just kind of see what's going on. As long as we don't have any noise complaints,
absolutely
that'll be fine.
Yeah,
wonderful.
okay. Especially considering the resort right there, but.
Right.
On a Sunday morning.
Speaker. It's nothing too extreme volume wise. So, but I'm happy to have anyone test it out. I'll do some test runs beforehand if this is a go and just make sure that it's not offensive to anyone.
Okay, all of those in favor.
Excuse me, Mike,
Yeah.
Chantal has her hand raised, please.
I don't see Chantal on my screen.
Hi.
So, of course.
I was just looking for a little bit of clarification about the location. Are you saying you'd like to use that paved area?
No, the beach just at the end, closer to the parking
Okay.
lot.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I have my participant screen open so I can see who else is here. Okay, now, any other questions? Okay, I think at this point, we'll do the roll call vote. Nikki? In
I
favor?
approve. Yep.
Meryl?
I also approve.
And I approve, Maureen, so that would be a unanimous approval. Thank you very much, Rachel. You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Well, if you don't mind, I think I'll go. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks again.
Of course.
Thank you, Rachel.
Alrighty, thanks. Bye-bye.
And the next request that Marina has is from NHA for the Sarge Community Day. Do you want to speak to that, Marina?
We have two representatives from NHA. We have Niles Parker and we have Robin London. I would just let them to explain what they're trying to do.
Happy to have Robin speak. Niles is a Chelsea Rooter, so I'm not sure he will be allowed to speak today. Go ahead, Robin.
No problem. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So I'm also speaking on behalf of Jocelyn Wong, who is our associate here, who'll be the main person running the event. I'll be helping her out. She's out of town right now. And she's the one, she and I submitted the application. So our big fundraiser is that Saturday night, August 3rd. And it's all based around Tony Sarg and his philanthropy to Nantucket. And we wanted to continue that as opposed to the fundraiser where we're obviously raising funds, expensive tables, have a community event where everybody could be a part of it. And especially the fact that we're going to have a 2-scale replica of the original sea monster hoax that appeared here. So we thought this was a great way to involve the community, get everybody on board with who he is, be a part of the sea monster, take selfies with him. And the goal also is at Children's Beach to have fun, interactive activities for the kids. Oh, there you go. We plan to have craft puppets, an activity station hands-on, and a special edition of the Nan Puppet Show, all centered around puppeteering, which was a Tony Sarg specialty, and just open to the community, no fees involved. We like to do it at Children's Beach for a lot of the reasons that were mentioned previously. It's close to town, it's walkable, don't necessarily need cars, easily accessible. The goal would be to have the sea monster on the beach, possibly angled or something so that he's not obstructing the lifeguard station, as well as keeping the grass area free and clear for the other activities we plan to do. Activities similar to what goes on for our Wampanoag celebration at the oldest house. Let's see, what else can I talk to for you or answer questions about?
Yeah, Mike, if I tell you that they're my number 2 team and not my first team, can I say a
No.
couple of words?
Please do.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, just building on what Robin said, the Tony Sarg exhibit is our major exhibit for the year, so it'll be on view starting Memorial Day and be up all year long until the end of December. In 1937, Tony Sarg unveiled the sea monster balloon on the beach and became sort of this famous event in Nantucket history. And we've got great photos of that landing. There's a brief video from 1937 showing that sea serpent balloon on the beach. And that balloon was then in the Macy's parade for 2 years. And just thought it would be a lot of fun to be able to bring it back and have the monster reappear on Nantucket. And so it is pretty close to a replica of the one made in 1937 that we hope is going to be featured more than just this year, not necessarily here in Nantucket, but in other places as well. But it'll be a center feature of the events this summer. And this one, as Robin said, you know, we really just wanted to make sure that people in the community had an opportunity to see the balloon at no cost and take part in this event. I know the drawing went up on the screen earlier. We also did a sort of a second option where it could be on the grass as well, just depending on Sheila Lucy's response and her concerns about access to the beach and lifeguards visibility and all of that. So I think we're willing to do whatever is requested from that standpoint.
I only hope that the wind cooperates.
Yes. Yeah.
With you. Do the commissioners have a question?
I have one question.
Please.
Is it helium?
No, it's hot air. Yeah, we've talked to the balloon
I was
maker quite a bit
joking.
about that. He has a few options. You could do it in all helium. That brings a whole host of issues. There are some chambers within it, the way it's designed, that he could put some helium in, like the ears, for instance, to make them stand up a little straighter, or the tail. But it'll largely be a hot air inflated balloon.
Right. I was joking. I think it's
Yeah.
an amazing thing to do. Yeah.
Sure. Meryl?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, what is it? So is it basically like a Macy's Day Parade balloon? Is that what
Yeah.
it's made out of? Like, I guess.
It is.
Okay.
It's of that size and scale. And it's made of the kind of rubber that's used for those types of balloons. The gentleman who's making it makes parade balloons actually, and has worked on some Macy's balloons in the past.
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds really fun.
There is a really cool old video that you can find online. I think it's an American Experience video. It's about 8 minutes long that tells this whole story and shows the 1937 balloon landing on Nantucket. Kind of fun.
Charlie, anything to add?
No, I've been in a few meetings about this, fully support it. The only question will be just, we're waiting for Sheila to give her final stamp of approval as to whether or not on the beach would be appropriate due to the size. Because, you know, if they feel that it's something they can deal with, and so we'll work with the Marine Department on final positioning. If they, you know, maybe they might say, you know, bring it down to one end of the beach and that'll be fine, or they may say they prefer it on the grass. So we'll leave the final decision to them.
Great. Any other comments from the peanut gallery? Seeing none, I'll ask for a vote of the commission.
Excuse me, Mike, Shanta has her hand up.
Your resident peanut gallery.
Okay, Chantal, go ahead, please.
I was just going to add that the NHA has been working very closely with the town culture and tourism department, specifically to ensure that we're doing this in a safe and healthy way for the community. So if my opinion has any weight, I think this is fabulous for us.
Great, thank you. Let's see, Meryl, in favor?
Yes, in favor.
Nikki?
I second. Yep, absolutely.
And I approve wholeheartedly as well. So that's unanimous. Thank you, Niles and Robin. And you're welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to go on and do other things, which I'm sure are
Okay.
piling up on your desk.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
No feast for everybody with the monster. Thank you.
And thank you. Now, Marina, I think we have Mast has made a request. And I believe that's Susie Tapley.
Yes, we received request from Susie Tapley, Mass Nantucket. She is not on the Zoom call right now. I can explain what she was asking to do. So she was looking to do event either on June 1st or with rain date on May 31st and start, it's like 2 hours event from 5 till 7. So it would be a sound, bass, dance performance. 2 performers involved. One will play the sound bolt and the other will dance. And they put the number of participants around 50 people. And then they were planning to have like community celebration at Children's Beach. They proposed to have a lemon press to cater the food. As I explained in my emails, we have a contract with concession at the Children's Beach, and they would have to have approval from the concession if they okay with outside food vendor. I believe Susie Tapley reached out to the concession, but they're not open right now, and they should be open closer to the Memorial Day.
Right. Do we have any problem with the 8:30 p.m. closing of it? Is that running a little late or not?
We have approved in the past some performances at Children's Beach. I believe 2 years ago we approved White Heron. They had a performances on the stage. As I understand, it's only 45 performance either at 5 or 6 on a bandstand, and it's just the gathering on the lawn.
Okay.
So it seems like it's going to be family friendly. They did put a registration admission fee, and in my follow-up email, they said it's going to be $25 per registration. So since it's open and a public park, it cannot be really restricted. So if general public members want to come and just watch what's going on, they should be allowed.
Right. And that's
Because it's
cleared
open
with
park.
that's cleared with Susie Tapley.
We would share this information with her.
Okay. Charlie, anything to add?
No, nothing really. I think we should be okay. It's a Saturday. I think the event will fall within these time constraints. I think that's just kind of with people filing in and filing out on either end of it. I think we should be okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from commissioners? No.
Not me.
Seeing none, I'll ask for a vote to approve. Nikki?
I approve.
I
Meryl?
so approve.
And Mike Cozart, I approve. So that's unanimous as well. And thank you, Marina, for bringing those. At this point, next on the agenda is Charlie, and start off with Springfield usage update.
Yeah, so we spring sports, just as they did kind of with the school, kicked off this week. So far, no complaints after day one, so that's good. We are working with the public school this year for use and access to the synthetic turf field over at Nobodier. So Wednesdays is a dedicated NPS day for however Travis and his team feel that they'd like to schedule it, which I think will alleviate some of the issues we've had in the past of last minute requests. As we know, it does make quite a difference for the student athletes to get some practice time on that sort of field if they're going to go off and compete. So that's working out well. We've got our turf company will be out here next week at the end of the week to service the synthetic field again, to do a decompaction and disinfection treatment for the season. When they come out, I'm gonna do a trial run this year and have them paint the grass fields for us. It's a pretty labor intensive job that ties up a good amount of guys from the DPW crew here. So they told me they can come out and with their smaller crew get it done in a day instead of what took us last year, I think 3 or 4 days to get all the fields laid out and painted. So hopefully that'll be a good time savings for the town. Beyond that, we're off and running into full swing.
Do they add fill?
Not yet. We're probably gonna be looking, we might be doing some infill addition next fall or next spring. We got the GMAX test they did last fall when they came out to do the service. Everything tested great. So we're kind of getting close to doing some more infill, which is not out of place for the age of the field.
And do they do a brushing or combing of it or whatever?
Yeah, they have a so they kind of piece of equipment kind of comes out kind of like a big vacuum, and it kind of sucks up the material, runs it through a wash, and then the disinfectant gets added in there, and then it gets laid back down into the turf, so everything kind of gets fluffed up, cleaned, gets any little debris and stuff out of the field, and then it gives it a nice raked kind of look. And at that point, that's when they do their inspection. Last year they found a couple of small tears, and so they kind of put some big heavy industrial double-sided tape down underneath to do the repair work.
Okay.
They said the field was in excellent shape for its age.
Great. Good news. Now, any questions from any commissioners? We'll
Not
go
me.
on to the discussion, open discussion for indoor recreation facilities. Charlie?
Yeah, I don't have to have too much on this. Continuing to kind of look around in other communities to see what sort of buildings they have, the size acreage we might need. Again, the biggest hurdle I think we're going to need to overcome is where this goes, and the land to do it will be the hard sell and the hard thing to find.
That's it's interesting because at the last meeting, Maureen had said to me that it maybe we don't determine the size of the facility before we determine the size of the space that's available. And I hadn't really thought of it that way, but it certainly raises a good discussion. And I hope that we can engage the town and the land bank in just talking about available spaces, because that will give us an idea of what could fit. This past weekend, I went off to Medfield and watched my grandchildren play soccer at an indoor facility. And it was in Norfolk, and it called Four Kicks. And it was an amazing facility. It probably had 4 half fields that could be combined into 2 fields. It had a basketball court. It had a golf driving range. I mean, it had a lot of different things. And the square footage, which I wasn't able to get yet, but I'm trying to get in touch with the person who has created 3 of those facilities. But I was struck when I went outside afterwards with the size of the parking lot, which I had never even considered. We're just talking about the size of the facility, but the size of the parking lot that's required for, depending on the size of the facility, is another factor. And it made me think all the more important that we tie this to an existing facility with parking, like Bacchus Lane or like the Nobodere Fields or something. So that should factor into our thinking as we look at facilities as well. Just my observation as a grandfather.
Yeah, the infrastructure surrounding is definitely a big part. And it's something that I look at as I look at these different communities. You know, I measure the square footage of the building, and then I include around it what they have for outdoor infrastructure as far as parking. You know, Mike, you and I had met back, you know, in December, like with the, you know, the land bank and the school to talk some preliminary talks. So we'll have to get back to the table with them, because since then, unfortunately, the expansion of the Delta fields looks like it is not going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah, so unfortunately, from talks from the airport about expanding and using that, you know, the area there surrounding, we kind of got a resounding no for any, you know, expansion and usage. I think they're worried about some of their own projects and needing the land for mitigation. So unfortunately, that kind of puts a big
that
stop.
whole big plan, what, 10-year plan, if you will, is now down the tube.
Now, yeah, it's now kind of a 5-year you know, plan, because it will take 5 years to get nobody or completely under construction and open. You know, to do all those fields in turn. So it's unfortunate, but it does, you know, open the opportunity maybe to, you know, get back to the table, you know, with some other land owners and develop maybe a bigger facility somewhere else that it could include an indoor piece to it, along with some additional outdoor recreation. So
Well,
and
will you, between now and our next meeting, will you get in touch with the land bank and try to set up another conversation? I think we would only be able to have 2 members of the commission present. Am I correct, Maureen?
That's
So
correct.
I think it would behoove us to meet with them, let them know about this turn of events. Maybe they already do, but and to be talking to them about what else is out there, because surely they know. I'm not necessarily talking about a land bank space, but they know the spaces on the island as you know, better than most of us.
yeah, oh, I can tell you, I've been involved in kind of the new DPW project and have been doing an exhaustive search of landed space that's town owned. You know, and unfortunately, if it's raw space, the mitigation requirements are what get us. So for every acre we want to use, you need to have essentially 2 acres to set aside. So it's unfortunate. So if you want, you know, as we'll say, just for rough numbers, every full-size soccer field is approximately an acre. So for every full-size soccer field that you want to build, you need to have double that amount of space to set aside into mitigation to be protected. It doesn't have to be on the same property, but it does have to be somewhere here. And so it just, land adds up quickly. You know, it's just as perspective, the Delta field expansion was about 8 acres. So we will be needing 8 plus 16 in mitigation to make something that size happen. So it's a significant amount of land.
Other commissioners?
I just have a question. Does that 18, in that example, does the 18 acres have to be continuous or could it be parcels?
It can be parcels. It doesn't have to be all in the same location. But again, it has to be like kind habitat. So for instance, if we were, you know, if the habitat we're disturbing is, you know, has, I forget what the particular moth is that we, for the DPW project, we couldn't say go out to Mattocket to, you know, low plain, different type of area. So, oh, hey, we've got 30 acres over here because it's not the same habitat that the moth would live in. So it does kind of restrict a little bit, like, you know, a lot of same habitat on the island, but it does vary. which makes it challenging.
Can I chime in here?
Yes,
Justin, please.
So over the course of the month, I spoke with Oliver Snyder from Stanmar. And we're all familiar with Stanmar. They did the Boys and Girls Club, and they do
Yep.
athletic facilities for universities across the country. Oliver gave me a square foot price between 230 and 275 a square foot, which is about 26 to $30 million for 103,000 square foot structure with a 10-foot oval track around the on the inside, around the outside of the field.
Go back through those numbers for me, Justin, as I'm not writing very quickly.
It's about 26 to 30 million, about 230 to 270 per square foot. And that would be and that would have a 10-foot track around the outside of the field with an accessory space of 5,000 square foot for extra rooms to use. And this is design, engineering, and construction cost.
Okay, I got the 230 to 275 a square foot. I got the 26 to 30 million. What was the total square footage for those figures?
103.
103.
The south field is 100,000 square feet.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the hockey rink, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to go. It needs an extra 3,000 to 5,000 square feet for utilities. So it doesn't need to go wider. It just needs to go longer.
I'm personally, I'm not speaking for the Parks and Rec, but I'm not in favor of doing this in any place that's later going to have to be mitigated for water. I'd be a little bit worried about doing it out at Tom Nevers if you're talking about the hockey rink.
No, I'm talking about the south field at Nobodere.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was this? The hockey rink reference?
The space at Nobodere is 100,000 square feet. But this building I just talked to you about is 103. But you don't have to make the building wider. You just need to make it longer. So if you make it longer, if you are familiar with, if Charlie's familiar with, the amount of space the land bank is transferring, there's a no buildability surrounding that you can't exceed widthwise, but you can exceed it lengthwise.
Unfortunately, Justin, that little stretch of woods that kind of loops out on the south field and then goes back towards the parking lot is protected.
No, I'm not. I would be going towards the parking lot, not towards the paddle fields.
Correct, but so if you that piece of woods that is directly behind the drive-in screen. If you were to look at the drive-in, there's that existing woods area that kind of blocks your view of the field. That area is included in the CR. So if you were to look at an aerial map of,
I have the map from land bank.
yeah, and if you look at it, it really traces the outline of the fields there for the CR.
Right. Yeah, my building would fit inside would fit inside the non-buildability area.
I'm confused what you were talking about with the hockey rink, though. Were you saying you would add on to the hockey rink?
I'm sorry, I brought up the hockey rink.
Oh,
Was it just
Okay.
for a visual?
It's the
It was a
building,
size.
the the hockey rink is a rectangle. And so,
You were
to
just
get-
using that as a size reference.
yeah, and my mistake.
Okay,
No, no,
I-
it's okay. I just want to make sure.
Thank you. That helps. That's what was sending me up to Tom Nevers, but, or the hockey rink in town, right? The ice rink.
So you just need to make the rectangle a little bit longer, not wider.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that way it fits within the space that's available to us.
Yeah.
I
And
follow.
this has also been confirmed by SMRT, Dick Webb.
Okay. So this leads me to another thought, and I was, of course, in the newspaper. There was a reference to going to hybrid meetings, not just virtual meetings. And hybrid meetings or, would allow us to bring a map out and show it. I don't know that we're always ready virtually to show the map. Although Charlie, if you were given the reins, you could probably bring up the map so that we could talk about it as Justin was raising it. But that's one thing that we need to do. And the other thing that we need to put on a subsequent agenda is more members. We don't have Ken here and we don't have Andre here often. And it leaves us very thin in terms of having a quorum for these meetings. It really puts the onus on Nikki, Merrill, and me to have to be here, which generally isn't a problem, but I think we're sort of hamstrung, and I know, Maureen, that an election or terms come up this spring. Is that right? For whom?
For Ken, his term expires on June 30th. And Nikki, are you up already? Did
Mine
you?
is up already, I think.
Oh, Merrill, right, sorry. So their terms are expiring June 30th, both Merrill and Ken. And they can choose to be reappointed, and Libby will make that decision. And then in August, we need a full board present in order to do elections and make an appointment to CPC, which is the Community Preservation, which is a big undertaking.
So right now, we can only limp along until August?
And technically, like you said, Mike, if we want to put this on the agenda
Yes.
for next month to thoroughly
Yeah,
discuss membership scheduling.
I think
And
that would be appropriate. Yeah, thank you. Can't get too deep into it right now because it's not an agenda item.
Thank you.
So, thank you. All right. Other questions from anybody in attendance? And Charlie, do you have anything else to add at this point?
That's it for now. We can, we'll send out an email to the commissioners to discuss maybe potentially meeting hybrid next month, and I can work with Maureen on a meeting space.
Yeah, I know that this is more convenient for many of us. And a hybrid adds another layer of complexity. But I also recognize that there may be community members who could attend more frequently that way. Who knows?
I agree. I feel the same as you. I think at this stage, if we want to get it going further than it is, we definitely need to meet with people, meet with the community, and we also need to be present there, all of us, you know, to show our support for what we are trying to build. And when I say build, you know what I'm saying. But I agree. We definitely have to do more. It can't just be the once a month on, you know, on Zoom. A lot of people are scared of Zoom. They don't want to be on it. They don't know how to talk, mute, the whole thing. It's a lot for people. And I think it's much better for people to be in person.
You're talking about people my age, Nikki?
No, me, I was the one stuck on mute earlier.
Chantal had her hand raised.
Shanta.
Never mind, I'll text Charlie. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just throw this out there? When people are considering someplace for a meeting to be hybrid, that would also have to entail the availability of the Zoom access. So you would have to have camera and audio available. It is available at the community room. And that's largely taken by HDC, Concom, Select Board. The trailer at 131 Pleasant Street at the old fire station, that does have Zoom capabilities, so we could do the hybrid type meeting there as a possibility. As the police department is starting to get CSOs, lifeguards incoming, they use the training room on the second floor of the public safety facility a lot. So that one has is usually taken out of circulation as a contending location.
Maureen, we've got the conference room here at the DPW. I was just in a tree committee meeting there. So we could hold it here, and then I could also work with the facilities team, maybe to get the old Parks and Rec building at Bathing Beach connected.
As in putting in Wi-Fi?
Yeah, getting a conference table there, chairs, and then wouldn't be much to get a screen and to get that. So I'm gonna work on that, because I constantly joke that I need to get my summer office
Down
up
on the beach.
And then there's the LGI at the high school. That's I know they use that, and we'd have to work around their schedule, but it used to be a place for quite a few town meetings.
Right, available to the town.
Yeah. All right, so we'll let you investigate options, Charlie, and we'll probably be virtual at the next meeting, but maybe we could target May.
if we can get it up and running. We'll let you all know via email.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you all.
Excuse me, Mike.
yep.
Marina has her hand raised.
Marina, yep.
Don't be shy.
I'm not good about watching that, am I?
No, I just wanted to mention before we switch to Zoom, public safety facility upstairs room was used for Park and Rec Commission meetings. It used to be available at 4 p.m. on Thursdays. And I'm just checking our schedule. It seems like it looks like it's available at 4 o'clock at third Thursday. And when we have lifeguards training and CSO training, it usually takes place in the morning, or like first part of the day.
Thank you for that, Marina.
Great.
I'll put that back in Charlie's hands with Maureen to sort through if that's appropriate. And at this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion.
Aye.
Thank you,
I
Meryl.
second.
Second, Nikki, and all those in favor, Meryl,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
and Mike Kozort, aye. Thank you all very much. Thanks, Maureen.
Thank you.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.